Please call the roll.
Thank you, Chair. Chair Daughtry.
Yes. What did I mess up?
Mayor Marine.
Here.
Thank you. Councilmember Mead. Councilmember Merrill.
I'm here, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Nearing.
I'm here as well, thank you.
Thank you. Labor Representative Norton.
Here, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Roberts.
Here.
Thank you. Councilmember Schweddy.
Here.
Thank you. And do we have Councilmember Johnson here today, Christiana? Okay. Councilmember Stephanie Wright may join in progress. Chair, we do have a quorum present.
Thank you.
I'm looking to see if we have any alternates. Let me just quickly run through that list. Councilmember Gallagher. Mayor Matsumoto Wright. Councilmember McNeil. Councilmember Nearing. Okay, Chair, that concludes roll.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next we're going to have public comment. We have one written comment received from Mr. Joe Kunzler, routed to the board in advance of today's meeting. No one has signed up to speak, but we are open to any additional comments for anybody that would like to talk to the board at this time. Please raise your hand, your virtual hand, and we will allow you into the meeting to say your 3 minutes.
Chair, we did have one sign up for public comment this afternoon.
Okay.
Peter Mycutt.
There's also somebody, Deborah P, with her hand up.
Okay.
So do you want to call the first person in?
Yes, we'll bring Deborah in just a moment.
Okay.
We're trying to bring Deborah in. Deborah, if you can just accept, we're trying to promote you so you can turn on your camera and your microphone. Oh, and it looks like we also have Peter. So just one moment. IT, maybe you can allow them to speak.
Okay, so Deborah, are you there or is Peter there? Peter. Okay, go ahead, Peter.
You hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Check test. Okay. Welcome, board of directors. My name is Peter Mycutt. I'm here to talk about customer service, and I'm concerned about the customer service in light of knowledge I've received that relates to the loss of 37 drivers, which equates to 296 hours of operation of service to the public. I am aware that there's been a running total of over 209 hours daily of work that needs to be covered. And I'm concerned about service to the public because I also know that there are trips being dropped. Seattle trips, Northgate trips, and local service. And I also know that there are drivers experiencing comments from the public saying, where's the bus ahead of you? And they're concerned that, and for me, a concerned citizen of Snohomish County, that if you're running trips every 15, 20 minutes to a half hour and you drop a trip, that means that 15 to 20 turns into 40 minutes to an hour that a customer is waiting. And in recent times I understand the snow has an impact, our weather, but now being the first of the year in which the company is now fully vaccinated and the loss of 37 drivers, there's going to be a continuing hours that need to be covered. The 296 from 37 drivers, plus I also know that there's daily call outs. And now as of recent, the first, there's been 7 known positive cases of COVID, in which that puts a driver out 10 days to be symptom free. So there's another 80 hours that needs to be covered. So I'm really concerned what if there's a plan to cover that, and if the board knows what the actual plan is to cover that work. I just know that it's going to continue. I have firsthand knowledge that it will continue until there's a solution. And
Hey, Peter, you got about 30 seconds.
all right, that's what I wanted to share. Basically, is there's hours that need to be covered. It's not being covered, and trips are being dropped. And if you're aware of that as a board, and the plan to get that handled. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Peter. Next, we have, where'd she go? Thought I had her.
We have
Deborah?
Deborah, Chair.
Oh, there she is. Deborah, go ahead. You need to unmute, Deborah. We cannot hear you. You need to unmute your microphone.
Deborah, unmute. Or maybe I'm muted. No.
Do you see the microphone in the bottom and left hand of your screen? Can you click on that? Okay, we're still not hearing you, Deborah. All right, we'll need to move on then. See if we can get Deborah back up on what she needs to do there. Is there any other people that want to talk to the board? Anybody else? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Next, we have the presentations, service awards by CEO Ilfritz.
Okay, Mr. Chair. I'm going to ask Rachel to signal you and me if she's able to work out the technical difficulties with Deborah. So
Okay.
We'll flag that and try to circle back in the event we can resolve that issue. Okay, so in the meantime, Happy New Year, everyone. We wanted to take a minute at the top of the meeting here to recognize one of our long tenured employees who is celebrating 20 years with Community Transit, and that's Diane Holyoke. Diane, if you are in the crowd, we'll highlight you as well. Diane's an accounting payroll specialist. There she is.
Hi.
And as you can tell, she is on base and masked up. There she is in the finance conference room, it looks like. She works on payroll, accounts payable, accounts receivable. The payroll team is obviously a critically important component of the finance and administration department, and they rely heavily on her, in particular her long history here and her steel trap memory when trying to track practices and past decisions and resolve odd and unusual situations, because in her 20 years, she's encountered just about everything you might be able to imagine. She is somebody who takes active part in testing and proving new systems. All of our different financial management systems, Trapeze, PeopleSoft, and those things we rely on to make sure the operation is moving smoothly and the money is moving in and out and people are getting paid and bills are getting paid. She's always interested and curious and learning new things. She also has recently gotten involved in our tax filings and working with the IRS. She's very detail oriented, always willing to go the extra mile, puts in a lot of overtime, One of her colleagues said about Diane, her expertise is invaluable to me. I enjoy Diane's attention to detail, the communication style we have developed. She is honest, dependable, and direct, which is great in a finance person. Her passionate hobbies outside of work are gardening and quilting. She's currently, I'm told, working on a beautiful new quilt for her daughter. And she enjoys traveling with her children and friends. If she's driving, she's probably listening to an audiobook. So Diane, thank you for your service to community transit and congratulations on 20 years.
Thank you.
And happy New Year.
I'm honored. I don't know how you knew all that, but it seems pretty true.
Well, we all get a little help from our friends.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
You.
All right, was that it? Is there any? Thanks, Diane.
Yeah, that was stressful.
Okay, so thanks to Diane and her 20 years of service. Next on the agenda, if we have a Van Gogh presentation. Mr. CEO, would you like to take that?
Right. Well, I'll kick this off, and I think the chair and I will do this in tandem. But this is an exciting annual event at Sound Transit where we engage with the community and solicit proposals to donate surplus van pool vans to nonprofit organizations who will put them to good use in the community. I think now I know we have a number of nonprofit grantees who will be receiving vans this year in the audience, and I would invite them now to turn on their cameras if they're able and participate along with us, because we're going to go through all of our van pool recipients and talk a little bit about each of you and what you do. Obviously, our mission and vision are to make travel easy for all and to help people get from where they are to where they want to go. We do that in a lot of ways, and this is a small way that we can enhance that mission and vision in the community and help lift up some of the nonprofits who are doing some great work out there in the community. This is our 16th Van Gogh vehicle grant effort. Since we began the program in 2000, we have granted 158 vehicles to nonprofit organizations in the community. And this year, we will grant an additional 12 through this process today. Each of these organizations provides valuable and necessary service to the community. And they will use these vehicles to provide support and transportation to their clients, members, and service recipients. So we solicited applications between October and November, and then went through and reviewed them with an internal committee composed of employees from around the agency, based on the criteria established for the program and the policy that's been adopted by the board. And just prior to the holidays, we identified the 12 organizations, and we contacted them with the news that they'd be receiving a Van Gogh vehicle. So with that background, I want to kick it back over to the chair to begin the presentations.
Thank you, Rick. Congratulations to everybody that got a van. This is great news. We look forward to this every year. The work you do to support our community is inspiring, and on behalf of the Community Transit Board of Directors, I thank you. Rick and I will be taking turns sharing some background about each organization receiving a Van Gogh vehicle. And I get the honor of talking about the first three. The first that's up is Bethesda Lutheran Church. They are committed to inclusivity, diversity, and equity. They currently partner with the Girl Scouts of Western Washington, including the Girl Scouts Beyond Bars program, the American Legion, of which I'm a member, and the Westway Korean Church. Bethesda Lutheran Church will use the Van Gogh vehicle they receive to transport elders to medical appointments, people experiencing homelessness, and those in crisis to resources and shelters, provide transportation for those Girl Scout meetings and activities, including transporting the girls to visit incarcerated parents, support the transportation needs of neighboring interfaith communities, and provide transportation to veterans by working with the American Legion. And do we have some representatives from, I don't see anybody. Am I missing? Maybe it's the way my screen is up.
We're here.
Oh, they're there. There, now I got my screen where I
This
can
is
see
Pastor
people.
Heidi.
Well, welcome, Pastor Heidi. How are you?
I am so excited.
Well, so are we.
It is just a delight. This is going to be a tremendous boost, not only to Bethesda, but to the community around us. We're already excited about partnering with our parking lot that is a carpool site for the park and ride. And we are just thrilled. So thank you so much. And here's my celebratory, couldn't pop something to, do a balloon drop, but thank you very much. Come visit us.
Well, you're quite welcome. And it's too bad we can't be there to just hand the keys to you because we love doing that part. But as we are in the COVID era, everybody's getting used to it, I think.
Yeah, that's
and
the way it goes.
Did you have somebody else with you? I think did I see anybody else with you?
I couldn't see the entire list of folks, but we invited folks to come to the meeting.
Okay, well, welcome everybody that is here from Lutheran Church. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to the second one. Evergreen Recovery Centers, the LEAD program. Evergreen Recovery Centers operates Snohomish County's law enforcement assisted diversion program called LEAD. This program is designed to divert those suspected of low-level criminal offenses away from jail and prosecution and into case management, legal coordination, and other support services. Evergreen Recovery Centers will use their Van Gogh vehicle to transport their clients to medical and behavioral appointments, employer services, short, long-term housing, vaccinations, and testing, as well as other necessary trips to help their clients establish stability in their lives. So who do we have from Evergreen Recovery Centers? Anybody from Evergreen?
Hi, this is John Mack from the LEAD program, Evergreen Recovery.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm very well, and thank you so much for this opportunity. This is also on behalf at the meeting here is CEO Linda Grant and Ashley Dawson with the prosecutor's office, and she's the program manager of LEAD. But we've been talking about how to do this for a long time. We've had many opportunities to try to take a group of people to an event such as vaccinations or whatever, and it's been pretty difficult. So this is quite a surprise and a very pleasant surprise. And I just, on behalf of everyone here at LEAD and Evergreen, we just really thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for everything you're doing. It's appreciated by most of the community, I'm sure, if they know what you're doing, and hopefully you can get your word out and we can continue with your good works with that community that you are taking part with.
Thank you.
And did you have others with you today?
Yeah, Ashley Dawson, did you want to say something?
I saw Ashley come on screen for a second, and then she went away.
There she is.
I'm here.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
I just would echo what John says. We're so grateful for this, and thank you so much. This support is incredible. So we're so appreciative.
Thank you, Ashley. And anybody else that you had?
Linda Grant. I'm
Hey,
the
Linda.
CEO, and this is the third ban we received from you over the 20 years I've been here. And I can't tell you enough how important it is when we work with low income poor and do Medicaid services to have the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the Faith Baptist Church. Faith Baptist Church, located in Arlington, gee, I think Jen Shorty ought to be doing this one, provides no-cost childcare to low-income families in North Snohomish County during the work week. Faith Baptist Church will use their Van Gogh vehicle to provide transportation to and from childcare transport volunteers and goods to provide food deliveries to the community, and offer Sunday transportation to church for their elder and disabled members. Who do we have from Faith?
It's Pastor Andrew. Yeah, it's
Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you. And yeah, this is our first Van Gogh grant, and we're super excited. We actually have had a surge in demand from the senior center just down the street from us, the Stilley Senior Center, and we're actually expanded out into Darrington in the last 2 months. And so this will be a huge help to us and expand our ability to reach and help those folks that need rides.
Great. Well, thank you for coming. Did you have anybody else with you?
Nope, just me.
Just you. Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming. And I wish we could give you the keys like I wanted to the others, but here's your keys. All right. And we're going to go back to Rick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And that last comment you made is really important. If this was normal times or the before times, we'd be gathered here on campus in the boardroom, and we'd all be together and have an opportunity to celebrate together. It's a little surreal doing it this way. I can feel the participants on the screen, wanting to celebrate, and yet we're isolated. So anyway, we'll make a plan to get keys into folks' hands next week, starting next week and the week after, and make sure we follow up. So number 4 is the Foundation for Edmonds School District, which operates the Work Experiences and Assessment Program. This program provides vocational assessment work and work experience opportunities for high school students with disabilities. Many of these students will be reliant on public transportation in their future. So the foundation also provides public transportation training by helping students practice riding the bus to and from appointments and community outings. The foundation will use their Van Gogh vehicle by offering transportation to support their students riding the bus, as well as transporting them to job sites, educational tours, libraries, civic centers, shopping trips, and community service work. So a whole variety of uses there that will help make it easier for them to transition into transit use after high school. So congratulations to the foundation. I know I saw somebody on the screen from the foundation.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm Debs Jacobson. I'm our Operations and Communications Manager. I think Deborah Brandy, our Executive Director, should also be on the call, but I don't see her. But just on the behalf of the foundation and the boy students within our district, we're just incredibly thankful. The teachers and everybody who work with the kids do such an amazing job, and we're just so incredibly thankful to be able to support the district in any way that we can. So thank you for making that possible.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for the work you do in the community. It's really, really important.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to Granite Falls Community Coalition. Granite Falls Community Coalition currently operates a busy food bank with 2 distribution sites, a backpack program for food insecure kids, and it provides prevention education to families and community members in relation to substance abuse, equity, mental health, and wellness. Granite Falls Community Coalition will use their van to provide transportation to clients to and from weekly food bank services, transporting clients to coalition-sponsored morning and afternoon activities on non-school days, and providing summer field trips for recreational activities, and transporting volunteers to touch base with students reaching out for support after school hours and over weekends. So really important work being done there by the Granite Falls Community Coalition. Do we have Granite Falls on the call today?
Yes, I'm here. I'm Carol Panegas, and I'm president of Granite Falls Community Coalition. And we too are overwhelmed and just thrilled to be the beneficiaries of another van. We have received one van, and let me tell you, it is rolling every day, helping our clients and helping make food deliveries to families in emergency situations. And we have our community is much larger than just the town of Granite Falls. We serve people in outlying areas, and these vans are just, they're critical to being able to reach our clients. And we're so very thankful. I'm emotional just thinking about it, and we just can't wait to get our hands on another van, I'll tell you. So we thank the board so very much, and this is a wonderful program and a tremendous opportunity. So thank you.
Well, and thank you on behalf of the board and the employees for all the really important, critical work you're doing in the community to help lift folks up, and especially kids who are struggling with nutrition and access to good food. It's just really, really important. Okay, number 6, moving on, Mary's Place for the Arts. So Mary's Place for the Arts provides youth with a safe and encouraging environment where they can explore and develop their abilities in a variety of arts-based programming. Primarily serving Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and disabled youth from low-income families around Snohomish County, Mary's Place for the Arts enriches the lives of children by providing that opportunity to express themselves through painting, writing, dancing, drawing, music. Mary's Place will use their Van Gogh vehicle to transport students to and from weekly classes and their summer program, as well as to transport staff to daycares, dance halls, community centers, and places where classes are happening. So thank you to Mary's Place for the work you're doing. And do we have Mary's Place in the house?
Yes, we are here. Thank
Great.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are very grateful. We're waiting for many, many years to have this opportunity. And we are very thankful to the board and to everybody in community transit. And we are so honored to be around all these people and nonprofits. It's wonderful. You guys are doing a very, very good thing for these little kids in all of Snohomish County. And we'll be happy to see this. Yes, happy! This is Irma. She is our volunteer teacher for the past 9 years, working with us. So I'm here, and hopefully you guys can come in and see how good these kids working from 5 years old to 12 years old, doing amazing, amazing job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well, thank you. And we're so very glad you're able to make good use of this vehicle. So
We will.
good luck.
Thanks.
Great. Back to Chair Daughtry for the next 3.
All right, thank you very much. The next one up is Mercy Watch. Mercy Watch provides basic street medical care, emotional and spiritual support, and needed supplies to men, women, and children experiencing homelessness in Snohomish County. Mercy Watch operates an approved free medical clinic and partners with the WSU Medical Residency Program to bring healthcare opportunities to those living unsheltered. Mercy Watch will use their Van Gogh vehicle to provide transportation to medical appointments, transport clients needing more advanced care to walk-in clinics and emergency care, as well as transporting medical volunteers to homeless encampments and shelters to provide COVID vaccinations and medical treatment. Do we have anybody from, yes, we have somebody from Mercy Watch. Welcome.
My name is Dennis Kelly. I'm the founder and the executive director of Mercy Watch. We're an all-volunteer corps of doctors and nurses and others who are providing outreach to our friends who are experiencing homelessness here in Snohomish County. Most of it is medical care. As you can see, we have a medical van that goes out on a regular basis, sometimes 7 days a week. It all depends. But usually we're having to drive multiple cars to follow behind with our docs and our nurses. So this will give us a chance to maybe soften our carbon footprint and be more responsible for how we do our transportation. It'll also give us an opportunity to transport many of our clients who their emergent care requires an emergency room, and so we will need to take them to the hospital. So we could not be more pleased and just are filled with gratitude for this beautiful program that Community Transit provides. Thank you so much.
Well, we are filled with gratitude for you doing what you do also. It's an important part of what the community needs, and you're filling that very well from what I've heard. I have been following some of the things that happen with Mercy Watch and others that are working with our homelessness, and I do appreciate everything you do. And pretty sure that this is going to be used to your advantage and to our advantage as community leaders. So thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Next, we'll have Peoria Home. Peoria Home supports women survivors of trafficking and addiction by providing 2 years of case management that includes rent-free housing, medical and mental health support, life skills and vocational education support, job training, and employment. Peoria Home will use their Van Gogh vehicle by providing residents with transportation to and from intensive outpatient programs, grocery shopping, medical and dental appointments, and community and educational outings. Do we have anybody from Peoria Homes?
Yes, I'm
There
Terry
she is.
Inglis. I'm the executive director at Peoria Home. We're a fairly new organization here in Everett, Snohomish County, and have been so impressed with just the support of the community. And the van is just saving our lives. We're a very small staff, and using our own vehicles is getting kind of hard on our vehicles. So this is so greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. I'm sure you're filling a wonderful role that is desperately needed in Snohomish County. So we thank you very much for everything you do.
Thank you.
All right, the next one that I have is Project Girl Mentoring Program. Project Girl Mentoring Program is dedicated to fostering the advancement of young women of color focused on health and wellness and to maximize their authentic potential. Project Girl Mentoring Program serves young girls of color, Indigenous and LGBTQI+ and other at-risk youth. I said I was in, yeah, okay. I got that right. From low-income families with limited resources by providing free programs centered around health and wellness. Project Girl Mentoring Program will use their Van Gogh vehicle to create more equitable space and provide transportation to and from their community program events, field trips, and support their nutritional program. And I think I saw somebody from.
Hi, yes, we're here. Woo!
Oh, there they are. Look at that.
Thank you so much. We're so excited. We put one of our youth in just to let them know, like, just kind of say a little something real quick.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for thank you for choosing us.
Yeah.
Thank
You choosing us. And like the director said, the van will allow us to pick up teens for our after school program and bring them here so they can have like a safe place to get to. And so again, we're so excited. But yeah.
All right, great. Well, thanks for everything you do too. I'm sure that is important work that you're doing. There's so many organizations out there doing work that fulfilling some of the niches that I think get overlooked a lot. And we're one of those, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Next, we're going to go back to Rick.
Okay, thanks. Rounding it out with our last three, we start with Stilley Valley Youth Dynamics. Partners, the Stilley Valley partners with Arlington, Stanwood, Camano, Lakewood, and Darrington school districts to offer support to students and families through 3 drop-in centers. They also partner with local service organizations, businesses, and churches to coordinate efforts to help students find jobs and resources needed to live a safe and successful life. Stilley Valley Youth Dynamics will use their van to provide transportation to and from school and drop-in centers, to transport students to appointments and shopping. Rock Club, I want to hear more about Rock Club, and summer adventure days, which I'm guessing we're probably seeing in the pictures there. They will also provide transportation for extended trips over spring break and summer. So congratulations to Stilley Valley. And I know I saw you on the screen here somewhere.
Hi, we're here. I'm Jessica
Great.
Romer, and I'm the director here at Stilley Valley, and I also have our committee chair, Brittany Kleinman. And we are super excited. We use our vans almost daily, taking kids to and from our after school activities, rock club on Thursdays, which is when we take kids rock climbing every Thursday, indoors right now. But when the weather's better, we go out to Mount Erie every week and allow kids to go climbing. We do summer adventure activities. We go rafting and climbing and hiking. And this will allow us to do all of that. Kids from Darrington all the way to Stanwood and Lakewood. We're super excited. We just had two of our vans just break down. And so it's been a struggle in using our personal vehicles. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the work you're doing. And it looks like it's great fun and great stimulation for everybody who's taken part. So thanks for that. Our next group, number 11, is Take the Next Step. So Take the Next Step is a faith-based nonprofit whose mission is to offer friendship, help, and hope to neighbors in need through programs like their Community Resource Center, Kids Club, student leaders after school programs, community dinners, life skills classes, teen mom support group, and more. Take the Next Step will use their vehicle to provide transportation to and from schools for their after school programs, to transport volunteers to their programs, and to provide field trips for youth summer camps and activities. Thanks so much to Take the Next Step for that work that they're doing. And do we have anybody there in the audience from Take the Next Step?
Hi, I'm Laren Olson from Take the Next Step, and we're grateful for this, our second ban. When COVID forced us to close down all of our in-person programs now nearly 2 years ago, can you imagine it's been that long? We tore the seats out of our first ban and turned it into a homeless outreach. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we loaded up with huge bags of food donated by the community, and hygiene supplies, warm coats, blankets, and all the other things that are needed by our homeless folks, and head out into the community. So this is a great gift to us as we look forward to restarting our after-school programs. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. And thank you for the work you're doing. And we'll round it out now with number 12, the Vision Church. So Vision Church serves Snohomish County residents who may be low income or experiencing homelessness, or who are living with circumstances surrounding substance abuse, mental health, or domestic violence. Vision Church operates a resource center that provides basic social services, employment services, and recovery coaching. Vision Church will use their van to provide transportation for clients to medical, legal, and recovery meetings, to provide transportation to Sunday services, and also to transport children to and from summer programs. So Vision Church, thank you very much. Delighted to be able to provide a van, and I see you there. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you so very much. We're so very happy to really just receive one of these vans. It has been, we've been just talking about it here at the church. We've been so excited because of what we're doing, because many times we pile in and we do our outreaches, especially to the homeless. We're putting food and different things in everybody's cars and trying to coordinate all that to get to where we're going. So that is going to be just a huge help. And, and there's just so much we're looking forward to doing. Not only that, it's just getting our clients. I mean, we go from anywhere from Skagit all the way down, to Linwood area and just all around. So it's we're just pleased. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are pleased as well. So thank you for the work you're doing in the community to help lift people up. It's such important work, and we know you'll put the vehicle to good use.
Yes, thank you.
Well, congratulations to all of our recipients. That concludes our presentation. We just, as the chair said, we so appreciate the support you're all providing to the community. We're proud to be able to partner with you to grant these vehicles and know that they're going to be put to good use, helping people. That is what it is all about. So I also want to thank our staff who coordinated this effort. Our Van Go program lead, Kristen Ryan, is an organizational whiz, and she's done so much work to help get us here today. and her management team, Jen Haas and Molly Marsachek, and so many others who worked to make this program happen. So congratulations to everybody, and thanks so much to the staff for making it possible.
Yeah, as per usual, our staff just shines and shines and shines and do some great work and helping out in the community. Personally, I know a lot of them do, and also through programs like this that we're able to do at Community Transit. We're going to circle back and try to pick up Deborah P again. Deborah, are you there? And can you unmute?
Unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, Deborah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, hopefully I don't push any buttons. I'm electronically challenged, so bear with me. So Peter beat me to the punch, who's a current bus driver that has over 20 years of service and currently continuing. I'm recently retired bus driver of 18 years. And my big concern is the open work and the dropped runs. And I appreciate the community service that you guys are doing, but how are you going to make these promises with service when you're dropping on average 200 hours a day of work because you lack the drivers? So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate your comments. All right, next up is the Chief Executive Officer's report. Rick, I know you've been really antsy and wanting to get to this, so go ahead and go.
Okay, well, it's a good segue because COVID continues to be topic A for the organization. As it's been said, and I'm sure you're experiencing it in your own communities, we are seeing Omicron cases begin to occur at CT. So far in this month, which is only a week old, we've had 13 positive cases, which puts January as our second highest month since the pandemic began, and we're only a week into it. We had 9 cases positives in December, following on 10 each in November and October. Omicron obviously is fueling that increase. County case rates trending the same. And we're seeing it across the region. We're seeing it with our fellow transit agencies. If there's any good news here, it's that the case severity is coming down. We're seeing fewer hospitalizations, so we're seeing public health authorities shifting to looking at hospitalizations and ICU cases as a key metric of the severity of the virus versus positive cases. So it is impacting staffing, and I'll talk more about that in a minute as we review the results of the vaccination policy implementation. Gave a presentation to the executive committee in December, and I want to share with the board a couple of visuals as I talk, showing where we landed in the implementation of the policy. So this is a slide that we used with the exec committee 3 weeks ago now, I guess, that shows the progress of the organization toward full vaccination from last spring through the summer. One of the things I wanted to highlight was that period in the middle of the year where we were really trying to rely on an incentive program that did well for us in the spring and early summer months, but we really plateaued in mid to late summer at about 65, 66%. We implemented the vaccine requirement September 28th, and that got us almost all the way there by the end of December. We got up over 92%. And now as we sit here today, we have a fully vaccinated workforce. So I'm proud of that. It's been difficult. Obviously, it's come at a cost to the organization, which I'll review on the next slide. Rachel, there we go. So as I mentioned, the vaccination rate coming into September was about 66%. Today we're at 99.3. That was an additional 180 almost employees who got vaccinated during that period. We're at 706 employees now. We've got, it doesn't say 100 because we granted some accommodations, and we've still got at least one employee I'm aware of who's in the vaccination process. So in terms of departures, we saw 18 folks leave over the course of the fall for other opportunities. And we do exit interviews with everyone who leaves, and these 18 indicated that the policy was part of their reasoning for leaving. At the end of the year, we had 43 total who were unvaccinated who left the agency. As mentioned, we granted 5 accommodations for folks whose work could be done remotely. And at the same time, over the same period, it's important to remember that we're constantly recruiting. We've added 15 people over the last couple of months, and we're continuing to recruit aggressively. So that's kind of where we are with the policy overall. It's not been easy for colleagues to say goodbye to friends and folks they've worked with. I've met with many employees who had concerns about the policy. I've heard from many more who are grateful for the policy. As I've mentioned all the way through this process, our focus has been on providing the safest possible workplace and a safe environment for our customers. And so I believe we've accomplished that, and we have a good base to build from as we go forward. So let me pause there. Well, before I pause, excuse me, one other thing. I think it's important to note, as I started with what's going on with Omicron, we're keeping our eye on the CDC and the Snohomish Health District guidance regarding the changes to the quarantine period, testing protocols, boosters, all that. Here on base, we're maintaining all of our safety protocols, including asking and providing employees with KN95 masks, holding off on unnecessary meetings, and making sure our policies are updated and clear for employees, contractors, and visitors. So, we're looking every day at how cases are likely to affect service. It's been raised in public comment. There's increases in hospitalizations and ICU cases. We're all looking to see how that post-holiday wave is going to affect us. We're looking at what's going on with our peer agencies, with other transportation providers, WashDOT, the ferries, the airlines. Everybody's struggling with the same thing. As of right now, we're not planning service changes. As I indicated before, we're managing for reliability, which means we're taking advantage of our extra board and overtime to be able to fill unfilled work. So that's where we are now, and we're going to continue to review the situation and make adjustments as necessary. But for the work that we are getting out on the street, which is substantial, we're focusing on our priorities of service, maintaining headways on our SWIFT system, making sure we're picking up first and last trips, and making sure we're communicating proactively with our customers when we see changes to service or reliability issues cropping up. So now let me pause there and see if we have any questions the board would like to explore before I move on to the next topic.
Chair.
I think the chair was muted.
Am I muted now?
No.
See, there's this little thing on my thing and I sat on it. I'll turn it off. Sorry. Go ahead, John.
Thank you. Thank you to the CEO for his report too. I haven't made it a secret, but I was against the vaccination mandate. I have been vaccinated myself, but just want to be on record again that I wish we'd found another way than having to let employees walk out the door. Rick, could you let me? Right now I'm just looking at that last slide you had up. So it looked like we've lost from the fall on a total of 61 employees filled, or 5 were accommodated. I'm sorry. So maybe it was 56. We've added 15 new employees. So maybe net we're down around 40. This current issue of filling trips, can you let us know as a board how much of that you think is due to the current wave of COVID cases that might be taking people out of the workforce temporarily versus a long-term issue just from losing 40 employees?
Sure. So I think we're dealing with convergence of a number of factors at this moment. We're dealing with the holidays. We're dealing with inclement weather. We're actually still in code yellow today, but we'll be coming out of that tonight. We're dealing with a year-end expiration of COVID supplemental leave. And we're dealing with turnover. We lost about 8% of our coach operators over this, and that's obviously not a small thing. We maintain at any given time about a 30% contingency in staffing so that we can cover work. And we felt like if we landed below 10%, it would remain manageable. So I think it's something we're going to have to watch very closely as we go forward, as we come out of the holidays, as we come out of the inclement weather event. For me, the X factor is really the Omicron variant. And, the CDC has taken a step to change the quarantine guidance from 10 days to 5. We're still using 10. I was going to talk about this in a minute, but I was on a regional mobility partnership call yesterday with our transit partners around the region. At least one has gone to 5 following the CDC. Most are still at 10. But it's sort of the big question that we're all looking at right now, because that will have a huge impact on our flexibility to respond to service if we change to 5 days. But I don't want to jump there just yet because there's risk in doing that. So we're gonna continue to watch and wait a little bit more and see whether things normalize over the next week or so. And if they do, I think we'll be in okay shape. And if they don't, we may have to look at changing that approach. And in the meantime, of course, we'll continue recruiting. We've got a class of coach operators coming through right now, and that's part of the strategy to make sure we can maintain service going forward.
And of the 41 positions that would still be open, maybe if you take the 56 minus the 15 you've added, do you plan to fill all 40? Are you going to try to fill all 41 of those, or are some of those, are those still budgeted positions that you intend to fill? Yeah,
absolutely. We want to fill those positions, and then we want to grow after that. The bigger picture here, marinating, is 2024, where we're looking at a fairly significant service increase, where we open a new BRT line, where we implement a new network in response to light rail that includes increased frequency and increased service in many of our key corridors. We can't hire everybody to execute an increase like that in 1 year in 2024. We need to ramp up to that slowly between now and then. And so it's a yes and situation. We want to refill current positions and then grow beyond that over the next 2 years.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you, Chair. So Rick, of those roughly 45, how many of those are actually drivers?
27.
Okay, so 27 drivers, and we're looking to hire, obviously those 27 back, right? Or 27 people to fill those, and then beyond that. But what are we seeing, or is it too early to tell the impact that Omicron's having on ridership? I mean, are we cutting routes because there's no drivers, but are those routes that are down anyway? I mean, kind of what's that effect?
Yeah, that speaks directly to the multiple factors hitting us right now. So we had a major inclement weather event and a holiday over the last 2 weeks. So our ridership last week was about 8,000 a day, and that's about half of what we had been carrying up into the holidays. So a lot of that is probably snow. A lot of that's probably holiday. So we get 90% of service out there. So,
okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? I'd like to recognize that Councilmember Wright has joined us. It's nice to see you, Stephanie.
Thank you. I apologize for being late.
That's okay.
Thank you.
We're glad you're here. Anybody else have any questions for the CEO on this topic? All right, go ahead, Rick.
So I'll segue then into talking about the inclement weather event. I just wanted to report out to the board. While it was a merry and white Christmas for most of us, it was a challenge for the transportation staff to manage service through this event. It was an interesting event, characterized by continuously changing forecasts. It would be easy to say, geez, they got it wrong. I just think forecasts change a lot and they're never entirely reliable until you're in the moment. But in the week prior, as we went to code yellow, we thought it was going to be a relatively minor event, and it obviously turned out to not be. But we prepared for the worst anyway, and I think we were ready. On average, over the course of the event, we were either just above or just below 90% of our service levels on all of our snow routes. Obviously, some of the outlying areas were a little more challenging. As I mentioned in response to Mayor Marine's question, our boardings were about half of the previous week. We were running about 8,000. We took all of our articulated buses off the road at the outset and relied on our 30 and 40-foot coaches. And I think that's always a good move because those smaller vehicles are much more reliable in snow and ice. We were chained almost every day, although we started to vary that as we got through the event. Our facilities folks plowed our operating facilities so that buses could get in and out, so that staff could get in and out. We contracted with some outside providers to plow park and rides. Staffing was challenging, largely due to people's ability to get in and out and to get here from home. But getting to 90% service, I think was a pretty good outcome considering that. We had a few slip and falls, no major injuries. We had 18 minor incidents that mostly involved personal vehicles sliding into coaches. We had no major accidents, which for an 11-day snow event, I think is pretty remarkable. And I want to call out our staff for that. The operations team, the leadership team, from Jim on down to the managers, supervisors, dispatchers, and all the operators who got out there and made the service happen. I mean, just incredible work. The maintenance and facilities crews, one of the biggest issues with an event like this is what happens when you run a bus for an extended period with chains. Chains tend to fall off. And when they break and fall off, they do damage. And so we had buses coming in every day with issues in the rear end, and our folks turned them around and got them back out there just remarkably quickly and safely. So hats off to those folks. Our customer facing employees, customer experience, communications folks working constantly to communicate about service and service changes and helping people figure out where the snow routes were, did a great job. It was not a flawless outcome. We didn't get all of our service out. We did miss some trips. You know, that has to do with that convergence of issues, the holidays, the severity of the weather, the availability of staffing. We had our COVID supplemental leave expiring at the end of the year. So that was being used. People were getting vaccinated and using that leave. We will be conducting, as we always do, an after action report to determine and document lessons learned that we can apply and incorporate into our inclement weather plan. So that is the report. Great job by the team. I got a couple other things, Mr. Chair, and then I'll wrap up. Looking externally, I mentioned the Regional Mobility Partnership call. I want to leave you with that question that I'll be considering along with our executive leadership team about the CDC guidance on the quarantine period. Right now it's been moved to 5 days. I think everybody knows that. We're still practicing 10. So we're going to, as are most of the transit agencies in the region. So we are going to watch that closely and consider a change if we need to. The risk there is, you know, just increasing the likelihood of bringing the virus back into the workplace. And so we're looking for some outside guidance on that as we go forward. On the federal front, we met with Region 10 FTA Administrator Linda Gerke just before the holidays. She and her team are staffing up to process all the Infrastructure and Jobs Act grants, which is great. They were working through the final details to execute our Orange Line CIG grant, and I understand that's now pending for final decision back at headquarters. So we're getting queued up to kick off the Orange Line, and we'll have an action item hopefully coming to the SACD committee later this month on that. I met with Congresswoman Susan Delbene on Tuesday, yesterday. We covered the infrastructure bill. We covered the Orange Line, how we've been using the COVID relief funding, how the pandemic's been going for us. I think it was notable. She indicated that her district is changing and incorporating Marysville and Arlington. So she's got more of the CT service territory in her district, which is great. Gives us more opportunities to partner. So she was excited about the Orange Line moving forward on the same timeline as light rail. And she was also excited to hear that we're starting planning on the Gold Line next year as well. Session starts, as you all know, this next week, and they've decided to shift gears and go with a virtual start to the session. So it'll look a lot like it did last session. We've, for your review of our legislative agenda, we've been meeting with legislators from our PTBA and talking with them about our legislative priorities. We met with new chair of the Senate Transportation Committee, Senator Marco Lias, the week before the holidays, and we're doing a ride along with him next week so he can experience the express bus light rail combo. We did that as well with Representative Wicks in December. Took the bus from Marysville down to Northgate, rode the train, and then came back again. So expect to hear reports from us on developments out of Olympia over the next couple of months. Lastly, a couple things. January 20th is a big day for the board. We have a workshop that will be an abbreviated hour and 15-minute workshop where we'll review our program of initiatives we have underway, the status of our 2024 network planning and the results of the first round of public outreach, the recruitment campaign that we're undertaking to recruit and retain staff and riders, the status of the zero emission study, which we kicked off a couple months ago, and where we are with the implementation and delivery of our facilities master plan and the new Cascade administration building. So we'll just give you quick updates on each of those over the course of an hour and have an opportunity to get caught up as we start the year. Then we'll break, and that will give way to the every other year board selection meeting, which is starting at 4:30. That meeting will be, unlike in the past, done virtually. And Rachel is working with her team to put that together so that everybody can participate and that we can provide breakout rooms in a Zoom format for the small, medium, large, and county delegations to caucus. Legal counsel will be present to support and facilitate the process. And we'll be looking to you all to determine board composition for the next 2-year cycle and also board leadership. So more details will be sent out to you by Rachel next week. She has been in contact as well with all of the jurisdictions. So if you have any questions at all about how all that's going to work, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly or respond to Rachel when you get her email. It's you all know the drill. You've been through it before. The big difference here is we're doing it virtually instead of on site, and so that introduces some different logistics. So, Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Rick. John, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Rick for his daily, really, I think, updates throughout the snow event. Battling that as mayor here in the community, which was a significant event. I know how much I appreciated those daily updates, and it actually played into some of the things we were doing surrounding opening up a cold weather shelter and whatnot, which leads to another thank you, and that is thank you to Rick and Community Transit for their free transportation of those in need to cold weather shelters throughout the whole county. That's something we really struggle with. You know, outside of our police officers, we don't have a lot of employees that can move people around, and sometimes people feel more comfortable, obviously, getting on a bus than maybe having an officer take them to a shelter. So thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I should have mentioned that as well. That was a real good example of collaboration with the health district and the other jurisdictions. Our ICS folks brought the issue forward, and our transportation and communications folks jumped in real quick to get that decision made and get it communicated out. So a real good example of being adaptive and flexible and responding to conditions in the field.
Okay, Jan, you had a question?
Yeah, I'll just echo what John was saying, because I really appreciated Rick and Community Transit and the staff putting the free rides out for the cold weather shelters, because they're all over. We don't even have any in Arlington anymore. And it was so cold and it was such an issue. And I really appreciate the fact that you stepped up and made that decision. The other thing I want to point out is I want to thank you too for providing free rides on New Year's Eve. I will tell you that I firmly believe that lives were saved by providing free bus rides. So thank you very much. Appreciate all that.
Okay, thank you, Jan. Anybody else have any questions for Rick? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on.
Mr. Chair, if I could, I would just thank the board for the notes of encouragement and appreciation during the weather event. A number of you reached out, and I shared those greetings with the staff and the team, and it just means a lot to hear that support from you during tough times when people are here late and early and struggling against those circumstances. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Executive Committee report. The Executive Committee met on December 16th. Councilmember Schweddy, Mayor Marine, Mayor Naring, and I attended. The CEO provided his report and an update on the vaccine policy. An executive session was held for labor negotiations. The next Executive Committee is scheduled for January 20th at 11:30 a.m. January 20th is going to be a busy day for CT. I was going to mention the board workshop and the board selecting committee, but Rick already did that, so that's great. Next, we'll move on to the Finance, Performance, and Oversight Committee. Councilmember Schweddy.
Thank you. The Finance, Performance, and Oversight Committee met on Thursday, December 16th, 2021 via Zoom. Board members Tom Merrill, Sid Roberts, and I attended. On the consent agenda is approval of Resolution number 01-22, establishing credit and debit cards for next generation ORCA testing, item B, and approval of November 2021 expenditures and payroll items C through F. Reports, the November 2021 sales tax report. Community Transit collected approximately 17.5 million in sales tax, approximately 4.7 million more than budgeted. Sales tax collections reported for the month of November 2021 reflect purchases made in September 2021. November 2021 diesel fuel report. Year to date, Community Transit paid an average of $2.24 per gallon for diesel fuel compared to the 2021 budgeted amount of $2.07 per gallon. The budget team continues to monitor fuel costs. The next Finance Performance and Oversight Committee is scheduled for 2 p.m. Thursday, January the 20th, 2022 via Zoom. One more meeting that day.
I've already told the boss by looking in the mirror, told him he wasn't going to go to work that day. So thank you, Jan, for your report. Next is the consent agenda. Does anybody have a motion for the consent items?
I'll move
I move
approval.
approval of the consent agenda. Oh, sorry, John.
I can second it.
Okay, so we have Councilmember Wright and Mayor John Nearing. Any questions about the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passed unanimously. Thank you very much. How I understand we have no action items. Is that true? Make sure I'm not going past something I need to be looking at. So the next thing will be the chair's report. I don't really have anything personally other than echoing what everybody else has said. You know, the inclement weather problems we had. Lake Stevens got hit pretty hard also. I've still got snow in my yard. It's, you know, piled up. I will say that I did not appreciate the snowplow coming by right after, while I was still standing there, getting my driveway clear, and he just looked at me and shrugged and drove on. You know, I was like, sorry, and he knew I was. So anyway, it was pretty funny. So I do echo all that. So the rest of the board members, there is an opportunity to attend a virtual APTA board member seminar if you should be interested. The seminar takes place over 2 Wednesdays, January 26th and February 2nd, during the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time at a cost of $150 per registrant. The budget does accommodate any of our board members that would like to participate in this, and all you need to do is talk to Rachel if you're interested in going to it. I have been to one of these conferences in person. I think Joe's been to a couple. I think they're worthwhile. I don't know how it's going to go through Zoom, but I guess we're going to find out. I'm not sure I can attend yet, but I'm going to try. Rachel will send more information via email about the opportunities. When you get that email, you might be able to make your decision. Next regular board meeting is scheduled for February 3rd at 3 p.m. And at that time, we will be electing our board officers, the board chair, the vice chair, and the secretary. So be ready for that. I believe the next thing we have is an executive session. There will be, this is on labor negotiations, and it'll be starting with 10 minutes in duration. Does anybody have any questions? You all have the link to go to that.
Oh.
It is on your agenda. All right, we will go ahead and go to that.
Okay.
The executive session will be extended for another 10 minutes.
Actually, you got about 3 minutes.
I have the timestamp of 4:35 for resuming, Chair.
That's about 2 minutes.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're running a bus company, so we need to be exactly on schedule.
All right, we are officially out of executive session. Welcome back, everybody. Is there any other business to be brought before the board? Anybody? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move adjournment.
Okay, John is first, Joe second. All in
Yeah.
favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Bye, everybody.